Hello and welcome to the Newsome MMA Betting Podcast. I'm your host as always, Newsome, and today, fight fans, there's a treat in store for you. So I'm joined by Justin from UFC Bro Picks for a special UFC 223 episode where we're going to be totally focusing on the highly anticipated UFC lightweight championship fight between Tony El Kukui Ferguson and Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. So thanks for joining me today, Justin. How's it going, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me, man. I'm super excited. We were just talking about it before this. This is probably the best fight in the past couple of years. So I'm super down to talk about this.
Yep, same. Absolutely buzzing for it. So, um, to anybody listening, you're probably thinking, well, what makes this episode of the Newsome MMA Betting Podcast special? Well, I've got a pretty huge bet on Khabib, and I'm absolutely sold that he takes the belt home with him. And Justin, on the other hand, has a sizable bet on Ferguson as well, and he's convinced he takes the belt home with him. So, you see where we're going with this. And to be fair, it could get pretty heated. So if you are a parent and you're hearing this blasting out of your kid's iPad, then this is your one and only warning that the language used may not be suitable for said child. So without further ado, Justin, talk to me about Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, man, let's do it. So honestly, like I've been thinking about it for a long time. Even like before the fight even got announced, and initially I thought, it was easy money, Tony Ferguson, all this. But the more I think about it, I think it's gonna be a close fight. I don't think Ferguson's gonna go out there and dominate him. A lot of people that are betting Khabib and picking Khabib are saying that he's gonna smoke Tony and all this. And honestly, like I don't think you're gonna agree with me on this, but I think either way, like it's gonna be a close fight. I just don't see either guy like dominating the fight in like round one. Like I think it's gonna go maybe to the fourth round, the fifth round. But I mean, my thing is before we talk about the fight, obviously, is a lot of people probably listening to this are gonna say, "Oh, well, you're 0-2 fading Khabib," because I bet Essen Barbosa and Michael Johnson. But in my opinion, those were pretty stupid bets because they don't have ground games. And when you look at a guy like Tony Ferguson, he has a very good ground game. Definitely, in my opinion, the best ground game Khabib's ever fought. But then again, Khabib is the best fighter Tony's ever fought. So
Well,
I
the
think it's gonna
one
be a
The
go
one,
ahead.
the one thing I disagree with you there, but sort of agree with you in a different sense is, I know you've been saying, because I've seen a few things around on Twitter that you've been saying that Ferguson's got the best jiu-jitsu in the division. I agree with that. That's the bit that I agree with. Having said that, though, we out dishing out too much disrespect to Ferguson and the rest of the lightweights. I also don't think there's a real jiu-jitsu specialist in that division right now, especially in the top 10, 15. But in regards to the best ground game that he's ever fought, I disagree, man, because Rafael dos Anjos is on that list, and he's a third degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, which you can say what you want about. Yeah, well, Tony Ferguson's got his black belt under 10 Planet Jiu Jitsu with Eddie Bravo, and I get that, but third degree Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt, I'm telling you now, like, yeah, we might not have seen a lot of it from Dos Anjos, but that dude's good. And you also look at the differences between them both on the back as well. Dos Anjos has got a lot of submission wins by like arm bars, and I don't think he's got a triangle, but I think he's got a Kimura on there as well, which traditionally, I know they can be pulled off from when a fighter's on top, but just going off memory, I think that they are all the defensive submissions that they've pulled off. Whereas when you look at Ferguson, I'm pretty sure that the only submission he's got off his back was the last fight against Kevin Lee, which I'm sure we'll move on to later on and talk about a little bit more. So I do agree with you that Tony Ferguson's probably got the best jiu-jitsu in the lightweight division, but I, I think Khabib's fought a better grappler in Dos Anjos, and he ragdolled him about. I think scored 6 or 7 takedowns, absolutely manhandled him. And Dos Anjos is strong as well, and I know Tony Ferguson's a lot taller, a lot rangier, a lot longer, but Dos Anjos has got that stumpy, thick power, man. So if Habib's throwing him about, then that's serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways this fight can go. I mean, you brought up some good points about RDA, but I mean Ferguson doesn't have just off his back. I mean that Darce choke is, I mean, in my opinion, one of the best. I mean by far, chokes out there. And I mean his Darce is nasty, man. So I mean if Khabib shoots sloppy even when it goes late, I mean I won't be surprised at all if Tony chokes him out.
Well, this is the
But
thing. This is the thing with Habib, and this is a big thing for me. Like, if I think Tony's best chance, because I've heard so many different, and I welcome opinions, and I welcome this sort of back and forth from anybody, and I've just heard a lot of people saying the elbows are going to come from bottom from Ferguson, or he's going to throw his legs up, whip the triangles like he submitted Kevin Lee with, or he's going to throw something and do all this crazy stuff. But that's true if Khabib lands these takedowns in the center of the cage, but he doesn't. Like if you watch Khabib's takedowns in most of his fights, it's the pressure up against the cage and then it's the takedown on the cage. Once the takedown's on the cage, he doesn't then move them away because that creates space for his opponent. He keeps them crushed up almost, well, not in a full ball, but just really, really cradled up and crushed up against the cage. And you're not the fighter on the bottom when they're crushed up against the cage in that cradle position. They can't throw elbows. They can't throw legs up to try and submit from the bottom. They can't try and sweep. All they can do from that position, at most, at the best case scenario for them, is to use that cage to stand up. But Khabib traps, man. Like when I'm watching these wrestlers and the grapplers, like I just spot things. I don't know what it is. I've never wrestled before, and my grappling's really limited as well from when I trained a few years ago. It's not nothing on any sort of decent scale whatsoever. But I just tend to have this understanding of what fighters are doing, and I see little things what they're doing because like another fighter, just without digressing too much, that I really like is Rani Yahya because he does this really well as well. They just set traps and they move at the right time, and the weight distribution between transitions is perfect. And they also make sure that weight distribution prevents sweeps and stuff from the bottom. It's really, really high level, clever stuff, and that's what Khabib does. He'll set the traps and he won't let he'll try his best not to let fighters stand up. Of course they do. Eventually, when you persist enough, they will get up. He's not a perfect fighter, nobody is. But when they get up, he's still got hold of him, and he'll just take them straight back down. And this is the thing with Tony Ferguson. I don't know how, unless the takedowns are in the middle of the cage, which I don't believe they will be. I don't know how much he can do from his back. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I personally, I'm like I say, if he's cradled up against the cage, all he'll be able to do is stand up. I'm not exactly sure what else he can do from that position.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways, like I said, like this fight can go. But I mean, in my opinion, I know you disagree, but I do think that Tony has, a very good ground game. And I just don't see Khabib like just laying on him. And like, I mean, he's different than Barbosa and Michael Johnson. I mean, I know RDA has a very good ground game. He couldn't get up, but Tony is just so awkward, man. He's just such a different kind of fighter. He's a big dude too. Like, I mean, he's pretty, skinny, but I mean, the dude walks around like 200 pounds. So I just don't see Khabib, in my opinion, I see him taking him down. I'm not saying he's not. He's going to take him down 100% sure. I just don't think he's going to be able to lay on him and just do his game. I think Tony's going to make scrambles. And like you mentioned, I was going to say anyways, but I think he's going to slice him up off his back with some elbows. And I think it's going to be a war. I don't think it's going to be a one-sided fight for either guy.
I think
And
if
on the
go on, sorry,
go ahead.
no, go
It's
on.
okay.
Well,
On the feet. Oh, here, you go ahead.
no, go on. You go.
On the feet too, I don't know if you heard this, but Khabib's dad was saying that he thinks because he's going to drop Tony Ferguson. If that's the mentality that they have, in my opinion, Ferguson's going to knock him out. Because if Khabib even tries to stand with him, I don't think it's going to end well. I mean, I know Khabib doesn't have terrible boxing. He definitely improved because he's a pressure fighter, but I just don't think he has what it takes to stand on the feet
Well,
and trade with Tony Ferguson.
this is where I stand on that comment. I've not heard that until you've just said it, but straight away this is where I stand. It happens all the time. A fighter will say, oh, who was the last one to say it? I think fucking Anthony Hamilton or something said that he was gonna stand and strike with someone. It might have been Ngannou, oh, yeah, my striking's good as well. My power, we'll see who's got the power. You know what I mean? It's the fighters that say that. It doesn't always work out like that, and they sort of in their head they're thinking, oh, I'm going to say this, and he's going to think that, but then I'm going to do the opposite. And even though we all know it's bullshit, which it is, there's no way that Habib's 25-0. He's finally got to this position. He's had a career with quite a few injuries, and he's had to pull out of fights because of weight cuts and stuff like that. And there's no way at 25-0, where he's finally got to this position of a lightweight championship fight, that he's gonna fucking ditch his wrestling, his bread and butter, what he's based his whole career on, to strike with somebody who is clearly a better striker than him, because he is. That's not a secret. Tony Ferguson is the better striker. So I call bullshit on that straight away with what his dad said. And I think it's one of those things where his dad's trying to play mind games, but really we all know the fucking truth, and so does Tony Ferguson. And I would be very surprised if even Tony Ferguson, believed what his dad said. That's bollocks, man. He'll stand for as long as he needs to stand to close the distance and to get him down. And that's the other thing as well. In regards to Khabib's stand up, like Edson Barboza is legit the only fighter in the UFC where when I'm watching him and he's kicking his opponents, where I literally out loud will just go, oh, fucking hell, Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, because those kicks are fucking vicious from Barboza. So what Habib took from the legs, from the body, and he even caught him with a spin hook kick as well. Bear in mind he was a little bit tired, so the power of that from that kick will have been a little bit, a little bit less than what it would have been if he was fresh. But still, Habib walked straight through it like it was fuck all, and it's like. I think he's tough, man. Like I know people say, oh,
He's
he
tough.
wobbled against Johnson, but I think he's a lot tougher with taking shots than people give him credit for.
He's a tough dude, but like my thing is on this that he's a pressure fighter, and I know Tony Ferguson, he does start out slow sometimes, but I mean Tony Ferguson's a pressure fighter too, so like that's why it's gonna be an interesting fight. Like, do you think Khabib's gonna go out there and just like take him down immediately? Like, I think it's gonna be a struggle for him to get him down. He is gonna get him down, but don't forget Ferguson is very good wrestling. I mean, I know the guy's been taken down before, but I think it's gonna be a little tougher for him to take Tony Ferguson down than it was Edson, because let's make no mistake about it, Edson does not have a good ground game. I mean,
Well,
he doesn't.
in a way, I agree with what you've said, but just going back to the question that you asked me originally, I don't think he's going to go straight in there and shoot a takedown straight away. I think he's going to ease himself in. It's a 5 round fight. I don't think it would be great fight IQ, and he's got time now. I mean, in in Habib's head, he's got 3 rounds. Yeah, he just needs to win 3 rounds out of 5. Like previous fights, he needs to win 2 rounds out of 3. So he has got more time to, to ease himself in, adjust himself to his opponent. In regards to him being harder to take down than Barboza, I mean, you can't forget Barboza had like. Well, I can't remember the percentage stat, but he had elite takedown defense. I'm sure it was in like the high 80s, early 90% takedown
Yeah.
defense. And but weirdly, I think the difference is Barboza at the start of their fight. I think he was just that determined not to go to the ground because, like you said, he doesn't have a ground game. He was that determined to keep himself up that he was he was actually doing really well. He defended the first 2 takedowns that Habib
He
tried on
gassed
him,
himself out.
but he was determined to stay on his feet. Whereas Ferguson, like we all know, I seen someone post on Twitter that Ferguson shouted over to Kevin Lee, and before that 3rd round, this is fucking my mat, not yours. So, and like you've just said, he's got a ground game. So, I think if Ferguson feels himself going to go down, whereas Barboza felt he was determined to stay upright. I think Ferguson will be comfortable at the start until he realizes that actually he is getting fucked up, because I think that is what's going to happen. I think he is going to accept that takedown when he feels right. Okay, fuck, I'm either in a position now where I'm definitely going to get taken down, or I try and stay on my feet and waste a bit of energy and stuff like you've just said with Barboza, he gassed himself out. I think Ferguson will go to the ground. I think he'll be happy to do that to start with, and I think Habib will be setting these traps. He'll transition to where he needs to be. He'll cradle Ferguson up against the cage. He'll be landing shots. He'll be taking that cardio out of him. And this is the thing. Like people say, oh well, Habib's not gone 5 rounds. True, he hasn't gone 5 rounds. But if this fight pans out how I think it's going to pan out, and Habib does dominate on top for the majority of the fight, Habib's not going to tire out. That's his bread and butter. That's his bread and butter. He's not going to tire out by him being on top. That's where he's almost got probably unlimited cardio, that he could go fucking 10 rounds on top of somebody beating the shit out of him. It's when it's if Tony does manage to keep the fight on the feet and does start picking him apart and making Habib work. That's when we'll probably see Habib start tiring, and late third, fourth, or fifth round. But if this fight goes how I think it's going to go, Khabib won't tire. And the one thing I've seen from all Khabib's ground and pound is his ground and pound is that it's that savage and it's that relentless that he just sucks all of the energy out of his fighters. I don't think Barboza did gas himself out totally. Most of that was just getting smashed on the floor by Khabib. Michael Johnson didn't tire himself out. That was just getting smashed by Khabib. RDA didn't tire himself. That's just getting smashed by Khabib. This is what I mean. Like, he does this to every single fight he fights, and I appreciate Tony Ferguson's got cardio, but over 5 rounds, how many rounds can he go getting smashed on the ground before he stands up at the end of a round and he's just totally drained? You know what I mean?
I do. I mean, I agree. I do agree that Khabib has good cardio, but I mean, like you already mentioned, I just don't think his style is for, made for 5 rounds. In my opinion, I think he might be winning, the fight maybe in the first or second round. But if this fight goes in the fifth round, I honestly feel like it's all Tony. I mean, I think Tony's gonna drag him to deep waters and break him because Tony has the best cardio in the division, in my opinion, by far. I mean, Khabib has good cardio, but I just don't think his style is made for 5 rounds because you think that he's gonna, you know, lay on top of Tony Ferguson. Ferguson's not going to get out. I think it's going to be different. I think Ferguson's going to make it a fight on the ground. I think he's going to, in my opinion, be the first person to, make some scrambles. I think he's going to slice him up with some elbows. You saw Kevin Lee after the fight. I mean, Kevin Lee got hurt by those elbows that Tony Ferguson hit him with. So I really think it's not going to be
But
easy.
at that point with Kevin Lee, I mean, the dude had a staph infection. So by that point, he was done. He was completely, absolutely fucking spent. And I tell you what, right? I bet Ferguson in that fight. I had 3 units on Tony Ferguson straight. Off the top of my head, I think it was something like -170, something like that. I can't really remember without looking at my record. So I had 3 units straight on him. When I saw all the shit with the weigh-ins with Kevin Lee, looking shy, missing weight, having to cut more weight, coming back. He obviously had a staph infection that we didn't know about at that time. But when he came back on them scales and weighed in, instantly I hit Tony Ferguson at plus, I think it was plus 100 or something to win inside the distance. I thought he's gonna finish him. Lee is not gonna be able to go that 5 rounds. So I had 5 units on Ferguson in that fight, and I swear to God, I was sweating buckets. Like, it was ridiculous because I went into there thinking, yeah, Ferguson's got this, it's going to be comfortable. All the same things you're saying to me now. Yeah, he's got good wrestling, he'll have good takedown defense, he'll be a nightmare on bottom. Listen, by the end of that second round, I'm thinking, fucking hell, Kevin Lee can not only take him down when he wants, in the middle of the cage where Ferguson should be most dangerous off his back, but he's fucking passing guard, he's mounting him, he's landing shots. At this point, I'm thinking, holy fucking shit, I hope Kevin Lee does gas, because if he doesn't, I'm losing 5 units here. And this is a Kevin Lee that struggled with weight, missed weight, had to cut more weight. When Kevin Lee was cutting more weight, Tony Ferguson was rehydrating. Then he comes out and it's evident he's got a fucking staph infection. And I'm still sweating on the bet. You know what I mean? It's like,
I bet Tony Ferguson too. Yeah, I bet Ferguson too.
And I tell you something else as well. When these 2 guys were due to fight previously, so the time before this, I bet Tony Ferguson in that fight. And the reason I bet Tony Ferguson in that fight is for all the things that you're saying to me now. But what's changed between when they were due to fight then and when they're due to fight now is since then, Khabib's fought a good striker, a kicker, an aggressive, powerful guy with, percentage-wise decent takedown defense. That was a red flag for me before with Khabib, but I've seen that now, so that's good. And also we've seen Tony Ferguson fight a wrestler and get taken down at will, and getting mounted and them landing shots on Ferguson. And I also believe that if Kevin Lee didn't have that staph infection, all the problems that came with it, I think Kevin Lee would have beaten Tony Ferguson. I'll say that right now. I think it'd have taken 3 rounds out of 5. I think it would have gone the distance, and I think Kevin Lee would have won a decision. So between that when they were scheduled to fight, when I'd bet Tony Ferguson, that's what I've seen since. And for me, like, I had to bet Habib. I fucking had to. I mean, would I bet him now at minus 250? No, I wouldn't. But I got him at minus 187 as an early line from Betfair in the UK. Dropped 6 units on that. I'm just that confident he gets it done. And it's all what I've seen between when they were due to fight before. Um, it was perfect. It's been perfect how it's panned out. It's given everybody that had question marks for both sides something to see what they can both offer each other. Now, the difference for me is I think Barboza is a better and more dangerous striker than Ferguson, and I think Habib's a better wrestler than Kevin Lee. Do you get what I mean? So that's where I've sort of weighed that up.
Yeah, a lot of people, man, like you mentioned, bet Tony or were gonna pick bet Tony, the first time. I was gonna bet Tony the first time too. But a lot of people are switching to Khabib now. That's not me, obviously, but I will say that Kevin Lee looked good in the first round. I mean, I think it was 1-1 going in the third, and he took him down 3 times. I believe the first time he had him in mount, I think, with like 30 seconds to go in the fight
Yeah.
or in the first round. But I don't think he did. He didn't do really anything. I mean, the shots, like Ferguson has such a good chin, and I feel like none of those shots even phased him. And I mean, he walked out of that still laughing to Kevin Lee. He won the second round, and
Dude,
then
he
in the
got
third round
dropped. He got dropped. Tony Ferguson got dropped, and as Kevin Lee came in, Ferguson
I don't
dropped
think
Lee.
I think Kevin Lee got dropped, but I don't think Ferguson got dropped. It was an eye poke. I don't think he got dropped. It was an eye poke.
Well, I mean, I only watched the tape a few days ago. I mean, I watch a lot of fights during every week, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure he fell. You know what? I could be totally wrong with that. You've made me question it, but
What's funny?
I assumed that Kevin Lee had hurt Ferguson, and then as Kevin Lee came in to follow up on that, Ferguson hit him with a left hook and wobbled him in exactly the same way.
I think he slipped and it was an eye poke because if you go, obviously I don't trust everything on UFC.com, but they don't score either of them get a knockdown. So, I mean,
I thought bollocks then because definitely.
I thought Tony dropped him. And I mean, you think Tony got dropped, But
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they constitute a fighter being dropped. Does the bum have to hit the floor? Does the back have to hit the floor? I don't know what the constitute. For me, if their feet give out from a shot, for me that's a knockdown, regardless of whether they land on the knees or what.
Yeah, but I'll be surprised if Khabib drops Tony Ferguson.
Yeah,
the guy,
I would.
He does take a lot of punishment. A lot of people are going to bring up the Lando fight, but I mean, let's be honest. I think Lando's a better striker than Khabib.
Yeah, I can probably agree with that. But the Lando fight was really different. That was a short notice, nothing to lose fight for a crazy dude coming in to make a name for himself. His high would have been there. Everything would have just been great in his life at that point. Imagine you're in the regional scene and you get a call from Dana White and say, listen, son, we need you to step in against fucking Tony Ferguson in a UFC event. You know what I mean? You're going to be buzzing your tits off in that fight. So, you can't. I'm not going to bring up that fight, and that you shouldn't even.
You don't really have to for him.
No, you shouldn't be taping that fight for this fight.
No,
it's
don't
irrelevant.
You go ahead.
Yeah, like I say, it's just I don't really right now until I'm starting to counter some of your points. I mean, I don't really know where else to go with it. I just think Habib is, like you said, he will get the takedowns. I don't think they'll be in the middle of the cage.
He will take Tony down for sure. I'm agreeing with you.
But what do you think is going to happen? What do you think Tony is going to be able to do if and when Habib takes him down against the cage and he's cradling him up and he's on top in a comfortable position, and he's either got the choice of trying to work his back off the cage to create space, because I think that's what he'll do. I don't think Tony Ferguson's got the best fight IQ on the ground. I think it's a little like Verdum and Nate Diaz's that are just so comfortable off his back that he'll happily stay there thinking that he's scoring a load of points, and where in actual fact he's losing rounds. Because let's face it, Habib doesn't lay on fighters and just tip and tap and look like he's going to transition and then not really transition and then maybe just pass once and then it'll get brought back to guard. And he's not that fighter. A referee will not stand that fight up if Habib's on top of him. He'll not stand it up because it'll just be a barrage of attacks. So that's my question to you. I mean, what do you think Tony Ferguson's going to do with Khabib on top of him?
Yeah, honestly, man, I mean, we'll probably talk about this later, when we finish about our official predictions. But I really think that, Ferguson's going to finish him in the 5th round. But I mean, we'll talk about that a little later. But when Khabib, I'm getting so like emotional talking about this right now. But I honestly think that, Ferguson's just not going to, I mean, he might go. He's obviously going to go for some, submission attempts and all this, but I just don't think he's just going to be able to just sit there and not do anything. I mean, the guy has, such the best cardio. He's just so scrappy. I honestly feel like he's going to reverse Khabib. I'm telling you, you're not going to agree with me with any of this stuff I'm going to say, but I do see Tony Ferguson doing some crazy stuff on the ground. I don't think it's going to be a mismatch. I don't think Khabib's going to go out there and just dominate him, and Ferguson's not going to do anything. I think there's going to be some sick scrambles on the mat, and I really do see a straight out war. I think it's going to be a fight of the year candidate.
Why didn't we see these 6 scrambles? Why didn't we see this crazy stuff off the bottom? Why didn't we see these sweeps, these reversals against Kevin Lee? Why didn't we see that? Because Kevin Lee was in the center of the cage both times. Well, all 3 times that he got taken down, it was in the center of the cage, and he had the opportunity. Yes, he whipped the triangle up, so you can make that argument. Oh well, yeah, he whipped the triangle up from bottom. Fair play to him, but I still don't believe that triangle would have happened if Kevin Lee wasn't so fucking badly gassed that he could barely do anything, because that's the brutality of the staph infection that he had. He was absolutely fucked by that point. So why didn't we see all that in the Kevin Lee fight?
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people are gonna, say excuses and all this, that Ferguson is a long way out and all that. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, he didn't look that good in the first round. He definitely looked like, he started off slow and he dropped the first round, but he definitely picked it up, in the second round. The third round, Kevin Lee took him down. I mean, Ferguson got that submission. But in my opinion, like, one of my big reasons in this fight is I think Khabib's gonna gas. And I know you don't agree with me on that at all, because I think Khabib is gonna have to finish him early to win this fight. Because if this goes in the 4th and 5th round, I mean, Ferguson's been 5 rounds before against RDA, and I just don't see you like breaking this kid. Like, how is Khabib gonna tire Tony Ferguson out? I mean, I know you think he's gonna, dominate him, and Ferguson's not gonna do anything about it, but I just don't see it. There's no quit in Ferguson. Like, there really isn't. And if this fight goes in the 4th and 5th round, in my opinion, I really see Ferguson doing some damage and breaking him.
Well, you're right. Ferguson doesn't have quit in him. He is a tough motherfucker. But like you said, we'll talk about the official predictions at the end. But it'll not be Ferguson that quits the fight. It'll be the referee that stops it for him, that saves him, just because he just will not allow himself to go out or to give up. And eventually, that's what I think will happen. But I agree with you. Like, if Khabib can't dominate and get takedowns for long and stay on top for long periods of time in the fight, I agree with you. I think he probably will gas. I think that'll give it'll deflate his morale. It'll boost the morale of Ferguson. It'll make him hungry, and then Ferguson will come out and he will have his way with him. But for me, that's a fucking huge stretch to be constantly standing up from Khabib, or to stop the takedowns and to stop the pressure and keep the fight standing, because that's how Ferguson wins this fight, by keeping it standing. He doesn't, you can talk all day long. You're probably not going to agree with me, and some people won't, but you can talk all day long about how Ferguson's gonna smash him up with elbows from bottom, and he's going to be doing some crazy shit. He's going to be trying to reverse him. He's going to be trying to throw submissions up. Like, that's not how he wins a fight. If Ferguson does that, I'll be fucking laughing, because I'll be there while Khabib's wasting down the seconds on the clocks, winning the rounds. And eventually it will get to the point, if that's the case, it will get to the point where we could potentially enter the championship rounds with Ferguson needing to finish, and I think that's the reality of it. And Ferguson's path to victory in my eyes is by keeping it stood up and picking Khabib apart. But there's only so long you stand up with Khabib before you back down again. And I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, Edson Barboza had great takedown defense with the fucking determination of standing up. I think Ferguson's got okay takedown defense, but again, he got took down by a seriously ill Kevin Lee 3 times. But like I said to you, I think Ferguson will accept the takedown at some point because he might think, oh yeah, I'll drop some elbows on him from bottom. But like I said, when he's cradled up against that side of the cage, there's going to be no space for elbows. There's going to be no space for sweeps. There's going to be no space for reversals. There's going to be no space to throw submissions up. All a fighter can do in that position is try and work his way back up to his feet, then create the space from clinch to keep it to then separate and keep it stood up. If it's in the center of the cage, then yeah, that the elbows will be there definitely. Submissions will be thrown definitely. But Khabib, he hasn't got a power. Well, obviously we'll have a power double leg takedown, but he doesn't use those sort of takedowns. He pressures till they're against the cage and then he shoots in because, like I say, he's smart. He knows he don't want to be in the center of the cage where he can risk getting submitted. There was somebody, I can't remember who it was. Somebody last week was saying before the Paul Craig and Ankalaev fight, which I don't really want to talk about too much because I'll probably break down in tears again. But someone was saying that these Dagestani-born Russians that everybody knows that I love have got a weakness to arm bars and triangles because of the style of the fight. And they actually said that before the Paul Craig fight as well. And obviously it happened. But Khabib doesn't put himself into those positions to get armbarred or to get triangled because he's fucking crushing someone against the cage in a cradle position. It's like, if he does get into the centre of the cage, be a lot better for Tony Ferguson. Does he actually win rounds by that? Potentially he could do. I don't think he does, but I wouldn't argue too much against it. But those takedowns won't be in the centre of the cage, and I think if we do go into the championship rounds, like if we get at the end of round 3, how many rounds do you think Tony Ferguson will have won?
That's a good question. In my opinion, I think it's going to be probably, damn, I think it's going to be pretty even. I think he's going to drop the first round. Obviously, I think Khabib will win. I think he might win the second. I think it's going to be close. I don't see, like, I know you don't agree with me, but I just don't see a domination for Khabib. I think it's going to be a back and forth fight. If you asked me this question a couple months ago, I probably would have said Tony would have smoked him. But the more I think about it and the more I watch tape, I do think it's going to be a tough fight both ways. Like, I just don't see a one-sided domination fight. I don't.
I don't think it's going to be 100% domination, but I think we see a slightly less domination type of fight as what we saw against Barboza. Barboza was total domination. Like
Oh yeah, for sure.
I bet fight don't go the distance in that fight. So again, you can as we were talking about before I started recording this in regards to like my luck lately, that's the sort of bullshit that that I'm facing with right now because I think Khabib even came out of that fight and said I could have finished him at any time after round 1, but I decided to push myself for 3 rounds. What a fucking wanker! I had fight don't go the distance. Cash me my bet, man. You know what I mean? But this is going to be different. If that is true that he thought he could finish at any time after the first round, but decided to go 15 minutes to prove everybody wrong. Fair play, but he's not going to do that in a championship fight. If he thinks he'll get the finish. There's no fucking way he'll pass on that opportunity. And if he does, he'll never come out and if he does pass up on it and he loses, he'll never come out and say it that he could have finished at any time. But if that's the case in his head and he's thinking I can finish this, but I'll go 5 rounds to prove everyone I'll go 5 rounds, then he fucking deserves to lose the fight. But that's not going to happen. Personally, I think that the first round is going to go to Khabib, and I think any round where Khabib gets one takedown, he wins. He wins that round. That's the level that I think that we're playing at here because I'm also not saying that Khabib keeps him down for that entire round. Because Barboza stood up, so why can't Ferguson? I think Ferguson will play around on bottom to start with until he realises that actually this is probably not the best idea. And I think he might be able to get to his feet a couple of times, but when he gets to his feet, Khabib doesn't let go. It's not right. You back up to your feet, let's separate and go again. Even though if that happens, I still think Khabib will land another takedown. But Khabib stays on you. His hands stay locked. He'll trip. He'll throw you. He'll shoot for the single against the cage. He'll take you back down because he's still got a hold of you. And I think the longer Khabib does that in the fight, the easier it gets. So what you've just said, where you think if it gets into the 5th round or the 4th or 5th round, Ferguson could finish him. I actually think by that point Ferguson will be tired from the takedowns. By that point Habib might even be tired as well, but it's still very easy to take somebody down when you're tired, when you're as good as Habib is with his wrestling.
He's the best grappler in the division, man. I mean, Edwards made no mistake about it. I mean, a lot of people probably think that I hate Khabib. I don't hate Khabib. I respect the guy a lot. I did bet him. You know, I did fade him, like I mentioned earlier, versus Edson and Michael Johnson. But those are dumb bets. The more I think about it, I mean, you know, I just think Ferguson brings way more to the table than both those guys. I mean, let's talk about Michael Johnson real quick, okay? Like you already mentioned, he was beating him on the feet and all this, but I mean, then he went for that stupid guillotine that second round. It was over from there. I mean, Michael Johnson just does not have a ground game. He's a quitter in my opinion. Edson Barbosa is one of the best strikers in the division by far. He does have good takedown defense, but when it gets tough, I feel like he does quit. He did not quit against Khabib, but I mean, his cardio is kind of a question mark, and I mean, I give him my hat comes off to him that he didn't get finished in that fight. But like you mentioned, Khabib could have finished him if he wanted to, but I just think he had no answer for Khabib and on the mat. And I mean, I disagree with you is you think that Ferguson's gonna have no answer. I actually don't think Ferguson's gonna tap Mount off his back. I don't think he's going to. I just think he's gonna threaten with some submission attempts, and I mean, that's the main thing we disagree on. I do think we're going to see some scrambles in this fight. And I know we didn't see those scrambles versus Kevin Lee, but I mean, I just really see Ferguson working him on the ground with some crafty stuff. And I will say this, I do think the elbows off his back are going to play a huge factor here.
But
So
I
that's
just
just
don't
my
see.
opinion.
I just don't. Just from like a grappling and mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu perspective, when a fighter is against the cage, and I know I've said this a billion times and people are going to probably start muting the word cradle from me on Twitter or something right now, but when they're cradled against the cage, it's not a case of, oh, they might come into play. They can't. There's no space. There's no space to throw an elbow. There's no space to work anything. I agree with you if there's a takedown in the middle of the cage, or if for some reason Habib takes Ferguson down against the cage, and rather than trying to stand up, Ferguson, shuffles his hips away from the cage and pushes off into the centre to create a bit of space, then he can start working something. Then he might be able to start. Well, he will be then be able to start throwing elbows and maybe try and sweep and reverse it and stuff like that. But that's a tough ask, and like I say, you can only go into a fight with the knowledge that tape shows you and tape gives you, from previous fights. And Habib, generally speaking, does not take anybody down in the middle of the cage. And I just think it's. Do you know what? I think there's this is how much I believe that it'll be against the cage. I think there's more chance of Ferguson being able to stuff takedowns in this fight than there is of Habib being able to take him down in the middle of that cage, or will take him down in the middle of that cage. That's how much I think that the takedowns won't be in the middle of the cage. And watch now, 30 seconds into the first round, and people take him down in the middle of the cage, and people are like, what the fuck, Newsome? On your podcast, you said this won't happen. You know what I mean?
Do you think Ferguson does anything on the ground? Do you think he threats? Do you think he does some scrambles? Do you think he winds up on top? Anything?
No,
Any of that stuff? You think he does
no,
at all? No.
no, because I think if, again, I go back to it. If Habib was shooting singles or doubles inside the middle of the cage, then I think that gives Ferguson a perfect opportunity to scramble, take him to snap down city, as he likes to say, and maybe sweep or reverse on the way down before Ferguson's back fully hits the mat. That's where I would definitely agree with you that we see some six scrambles and some clever stuff from bottom from Tony Ferguson. But if, like I say, if he pushes him against the fence and gets the takedowns against the fence, you can't really scramble too much with that. Yeah, you can like turn your back against your opponent and sort of kick out and try and maybe work your way around to their back as they've come down for the takedown, if that makes sense. I've not really explained that pretty well. I know what I mean in my head, but that's all well and good for anybody, not well and good for anybody listening. But there is things that you might be able to do, but it's very, very unlikely. I think that Ferguson will accept a takedown to start with, thinking what you're thinking. Oh, even though my back's pressed up against the cage, might be able to try and work something. But Ferguson will realise very quickly in that situation that he can't be on the ground in that position. If he wants to be on the ground with Khabib, it has to be in the centre of the cage. And I think at that point we see Ferguson trying to stay up at all costs and keep the fight on the feet, because what can you do with your back crushed up against the cage? What the fuck can you do? You can't do anything. It's like, it's not, in my opinion, well, from my views, it's not an opinion of, or can he or can't he. It's just that you can't. If you can't create space on the bottom, there's not a lot you can do apart from stand yourself back up. That's just fact. So no, to answer your question, I don't think he does scramble or anything unless Khabib hits a takedown in the centre of the cage, and at that point it'll be very interesting, and I'll be getting the tissues out for me sweats. Obviously my sweats, nothing else. Promise. So yeah, I think Ferguson is gonna want to keep, after round one, round two. I think it's gonna be very fucking clear in Ferguson's head to keep this fight on his feet at all costs and stay away from that cage at all costs, cutting angles, moving out. Just he's gonna. I know you said that Ferguson's a pressure fighter as well, but I think Khabib is going to be the one pressing forward in this fight, and I think Ferguson's going to have to almost fight a Machida type of fight in regards to just keep backpedaling for 5 rounds. And, it fucking does work when you can stay on your feet. Look at Machida against Eric Anders. Talking about a lot losing bets tonight, it's not going to be a nice sleep for me after this, I think, with all this circling in my head. But I had 4 units on Eric Anders to beat Machida. And
I bet on Anders too, man. I bet on Anders too.
People think Anders won. I disagree. I think the right person won. It was a shit fight. It was boring. It was awful. But I think the judges got that right, in my personal opinion. But what I'm trying to say is, it's possible against a pressure fighter, someone that's going to pressure you for 25 minutes, 5 rounds. It's possible to stay on the back foot and win a fight. And I think that's what Ferguson's going to have to do. And I just think that, like I said, it's going to be hard to do after those first 2 rounds. I think the first 2 rounds, Khabib will have got a lot of top control over him. He'll have had a lot of shots landed on him. Can you honestly? My question to you now is, if Ferguson's on the bottom for the majority of 2 rounds with Khabib landing shots on him, do you honestly think he's going to come back out that third round fresh? Well, not
Yes,
fresh,
I
but
do.
really?
I do. Yeah, his cardio is that good, and we've never even seen this. Okay, this guy's been finished one time, and it was a long time ago before his big win streak. I don't see Khabib finishing him, and I'll say it right now, there's no way Khabib finishes Ferguson in this fight. I don't see it. I don't.
See,
If he beats him, it will be early, but I just don't see it. That's the thing. I don't.
well, I mean, I'll jump straight into it right now. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not necessarily saying that I'm done with this conversation, because I'm not. But my official prediction for it is, I think that Khabib does get a TKO victory.
Oh my god.
Late third round, fourth round. I think that it's just going to get too much. Like, and imagine if the Khabib and Barboza fight was 5 rounds. Okay, he would have finished that fight in the fourth round. I think anyway, or he probably would have finished it before if he wanted to. I think the same thing happens. I don't think Ferguson quits. I don't think Ferguson gets knocked out. I don't think. I do think Ferguson will get very fucking tired, but I don't think it'll be exhaustion. But I just think Ferguson will run out of ideas when he's constantly getting taken down, and Habib's on top of. How long can a human being last just getting punched in the face on top? I mean, this is how I see the fight going. If the fight goes another way, if Habib doesn't get regular takedowns, and if Ferguson doesn't tire as much as I think he's going to tire, with the relentless pressure on top, then yeah, then I would not be sat here saying that I think Habib finishes him. But ultimately, I think that's what happens. I think the ref will say that's enough. I don't think, like I agree with you, Ferguson's got no quit in him, and I don't think he will quit. He won't get knocked out. He won't get submitted. But I think the ref will stop the barrage at some point in that fight, and it won't be to do with Ferguson not being able to cope with it. It'll just be the fact that the ref's just seen enough. And I think I can't remember who it was. I think, was it Dan Miguelata or No, it was Mark Goddard, I think, with the Michael Johnson fight. At the end of the first round, he went over to Johnson in his corner and said, "I'm not going to have that in the second round." He said, "I know you're fine. You look fine. You're not hurt." But he said, "I'm not going to let you take that beating again in the second round. If that happens, I will stop the fight. Whether whether your cardio's okay or you're fully conscious, I will stop the fight." And I see a similar approach to this fight. So I know you're saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe you think he's going to finish him." I don't think he's going to finish him because Tony Ferguson can't take anymore. I just think the ref's just gonna have seen enough, and I think
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because I don't think he's going to finish him, but if Khabib wins this fight, it's going to be by finish because I don't see him going 5 rounds. That's my opinion. If this fight goes in the fourth and fifth round, I think it's going to be Ferguson that's going to be winning the fight, and that's what I see. But like I mentioned, I know like 5 minutes ago, I was like, "There's no way Khabib's going to finish him." I don't think he's going to finish him. I'm obviously betting Ferguson, but
yeah.
if Khabib wins this fight, it's going to be by finish. So I agree with you in that part
See, I
right there.
mean, you might call me overly confident and a bit crazy or something, but I think the only reason the fight can't go 5 rounds is because I don't think the ref will allow it to go 5 rounds. I think it's going to be that bad. I just I don't know.
I
I don't think Ferguson is, unless he can keep it on the feet. But this is the biggest fucking if. If Ferguson can keep it on the feet, he wins this fight. But you can watch 25 fights of Khabib, and there's only one dude he's not taken down, which was Gleison Tibau, and we don't even need to fucking talk about a juiced up dude that shouldn't even be in that weight category like 6 years ago. You know what I mean? That's long
well,
gone.
since we're talking about that fight, I think Tebow won that fight,
I've,
and
you know what?
a lot of people do too.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of the same. It's been a while since I watched that. I hadn't even taped it for this fight because it's not fucking relevant. It was 6 years ago. Tibau's a different fighter now. Habib's a different fighter now. Tony Ferguson would have been a completely different fighter back 6 years ago. So it's not relevant in any way, shape or form. Um, but yeah, I remember when I did watch it back a few years ago, I was thinking the same thing. But you know, it's the facts are relevant. But the point I'm trying to make is, and I'm happy that you agree that Ferguson is going to get taken down. Because
I do, yeah,
I think
100%,
there is
100%.
some people out there that think that he can keep it standing, and if he does, if Ferguson keeps his fucking standing and beats Habib, then I'll fucking take my hat off. My 6 unit will be down the shitter. It'll be another losing night for me, but I can respect that. I can totally fucking respect if that happened. I would totally respect that. It won't be as devastating as Ankalaev being finished a third of a second before he was about to take a win, or Khalidov 2 rounds up against Narkoon, knocked him down 3 times in round one and gets submitted in the third round. It'd not be upsetting like that. It'll be total respect, and I think that's what's happened. Whoever wins this fight, and I think we'll both agree on this, whoever wins this fight, they'll have deserved it. It won't be a fluke. It won't be, oh, this should have happened or that should have happened. I just pray to God that there's no fucking controversy and there's no bad refereeing which we've seen lately. I pray to Jesus that Herb Dean
I,
isn't
I,
refereeing this fight because that's fucking got trouble written all over it. Um, I just hope that there's a clean winner and that fighter will deserve that win. That's what I hope, and then
yeah,
I
well,
hope that it's
I
Habib.
hope, I hope, I hope it's not Yamasaki or Herb Dean. I hope it's McCarthy that reps this fight. That's what I hope.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling it will be as well because, I mean, I said to you before we started recording that there'll not be a bigger fight in 2018, and you replied, well, this is the biggest fight in years, and I agree with that, and I just don't think the UFC will give, um, well, no, it won't be Big John. It can't be Big John. He's fucking retired. Can't be
Oh,
Big
you're
John.
right. I forgot about that.
I think I've got a
Um,
funny feeling they'll give it to Mark Goddard, and I hope they give it to Mark Goddard, because
yeah, a lot of people talk bad about him, but I mean,
oh fuck
I
that
like
shit. He's
Goddard.
Yeah, he's a
I
great
like
ref.
Goddard. I like Goddard way more than Herb Dean and Yamasaki.
It's for me. It's got to be Mark Goddard. They can't give a substandard referee and one that's been taking a lot of hits lately into this fight because if that referee fucking ruins this fight, I'll be pissed, man. I'll be so, unless it's Khabib wins, and then I won't be so pissed. But I'll be fucking really pissed.
We both.
Yeah, they can't ruin it. Just give fucking Mark Goddard the fight and just let him sort his shit. Like that's all they need
We'll
to
see
do,
who
and there'll
does
be
it.
no
Yeah.
controversy.
One. Sorry.
Go on, no, go on.
One thing I want to say before we finish this is because I still have to give my prediction, but I want to go on either your show or my show after the fight is over, like maybe like an hour after the card's over, so we can talk about what happened, win or lose. So I mean, either I'm gonna be happy or I'm gonna be mad. You're gonna be happy or you're mad. But let's both agree on the show right now that we'll talk about the main event
I
live.
will, I will, but it won't be an hour after the event because
Oh, I
that'll
forgot.
be like 7 a.m. my time. I will
Okay,
definitely do that, but it can't be an hour after
I
because
forgot. I forgot.
if it wasn't for this fight, it normally gets tough for me at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Especially if you've got some fucking chick fighting women's MMA at around four in the morning. That shit just kills you. Or Timothy Big Dick Johnson against Marcelo Gol. That there were me and two of the lads watching that event, and that fucked us all that night. That fight sent us all to sleep. Legit, I'm not even joking. Like I had to wake myself up for the next fight. But yeah, I'll definitely come on and do some sort of postcast, post fight podcast on. Yeah, we'll do it on yours. We've done this on mine. We'll go on yours and we'll do it on yours.
Let's do it. One
For
one of
sure.
us gonna be happy, one's gonna be me or gonna be mad. But
You should have
another thing
fucking done
too
this
is
for DC and fucking Ozdemir. You got out of that one lightly. You got out of that one lightly.
yeah, we should have. That was definitely a bad bet. And hey, I mean, Volkan's gonna beat Shogun, and
Get your money
maybe
back. Get your money back.
yeah, but I don't want to bet that line though. Minus two
Nah,
three
I
ninety, I
wouldn't
think it
either.
is right now. I missed out on that. But let's talk about we'll stick to this fight. Let's just hope Khabib shows up because I know he showed up against Barbosa, but I really, really, really hope he shows up because I know you don't agree with me on this at all, but I don't know if you've been watching Khabib's. I think he has some like show on YouTube or something like his last like the day in the life of Khabib or something like that, and he looks a little skinny, man. I don't know, like I mean,
Really?
make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. It's going to be a tough wake up for him. It really is, and it's going to be a tough wake up for Ferguson too. But Ferguson makes it all the time, and Ferguson's, I mean, he's never had any trouble making weight. But I just have a funny feeling that it might be a tough wake up for
Well,
Khabib. And
do you know now
but
you've said that? The irony is there was, and again, you must have not seen this if this is your thoughts, but there was a photo that did the rounds on Twitter, and it was only for a day. I only saw it once. I never saw anybody retweet it, and I've never saw it since I saw it that first time. But Habib's training a bit with AKA now, don't you?
yeah,
Down at the
yeah, that's
American
where he
Kickboxing
trains. Yeah.
Academy. Yeah,
hmm
so he had a picture next to Cain Velasquez, and he looked fucking huge. The dude nearly looked as big as Cain Velasquez. Well, not when I say nearly, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but he looked fucking massive, man. And he didn't. What I'm trying to say is he didn't look totally out of place. Stood next to Cain Velasquez, so that's weird. That you've seen this YouTube series and he looks quite skinny. Yet I've saw that
He
picture and
looks
he
like
looks
he's
fucking
cutting
massive.
weight already. He looks like yeah. I mean, hey, maybe he looked big, but if he looked really big like that, do you think that's good? Because I mean, he could be 190. I mean, if it fights in 2 weeks,
Yeah, maybe
like
not, but he's with I forget his name. You hopefully will be able to correct me, but he's called the Melee Way. Um, that with the weight cut. Can't fucking remember what his name is now. Just drop a quick Google search onto it while we're here.
he's a big dude, man. But I'm saying he looked like he was like sucked like in, like he looked skinny. He looked like he was cutting weight, and he's a big dude. I just really hope he shows up. That's the thing.
Tyler Minton, that's him. So he's with
Yeah.
Tyler Minton. He was with Tyler for his last fight to make weight with Edson, and he actually came in. I think it was point 0.5 under what he needed to be for the cut, and still looked fucking phenomenal against Barboza. And that's the thing.
Yeah,
I
he looked
mean,
good.
he battered Barboza, and you look at the strikes that he landed against him. He landed 89 strikes with 4 takedowns. That's a lot for somebody that should struggles with weight, and should have bad cardio, but yet he could have easily done another 2 rounds against Barboza. I know Barboza was done, but there becomes a point where we've seen it time and time again. The first fight that stands out to me purely from a betting perspective, this one I fucking won, so screw you all that keep thinking that I'm just talking about bad bets. With Tybura and Arlovsky. So I bet Tybura in that fight. He came out, he pulled it through for me. But he gassed himself out in round one trying to finish Arlovsky like so badly. We've seen fighters gas themselves out, and Khabib just didn't do that against Barboza. He could have had every opportunity to do it. He could have even wasted 3/4 of his energy because Barboza literally had nothing left, but he didn't. He just fucking smashed him, and he could have easily done another 2 rounds of that. So yeah, with this Tyler Minton dude with Khabib, it looks like he's done him the world of good, and I hope the same as well. I'm in a little group chat with a couple of lads on Twitter, and I thought this was the third time that they were due to fight, but I'm told it was the fourth. Which I didn't know of. So they were due to fight 3 times before. Obviously, the last time was the most painful because it actually got to the day before the fight, and it all fucked up, and it was just horrible. The entire thing was just like a kick in the balls, really.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it this time. I hope obviously the fight happens.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't want to, I don't want to tempt fate or anything, but I honestly, fourth time of asking, Habib's for me has finally found a camp that's really good for him in AKA. He's finally found a good
Well, he's been there
dietitian.
forever, man. He's been there forever.
I thought he trained a lot with the
Russians.
Eagle fight team, I think they're called, in Russia.
But yeah, I thought he'd been at AK for a long time.
Okay, fair enough. But he's finally found Tyler Minton, and he seems to be working wonders with him and his weight cut and getting things done right. And it's all stuff I'm personally learning a lot about at the minute in regards to the weight cutting, with me working closely with heavy duty fight management. They've got a specific blood testing program that they go through, and they have they have sports scientists assigned to the fighters personally, and come up with different things they need to do in the lead up to weight cutting. It's an integral part of mixed martial arts, and I think now Khabib has got that down to a T, and he's luckily for him he's got that. If he has got that down to a T, and I'm right, that's happened at the perfect time for him, because this is when you can't fuck about with your weight. You can't be half a pound over. You can't come into a title fight against a dangerous fighter like Tony Ferguson, tired and feeling spent before you've even stepped inside the cage. And you can't have that sort of stuff. You've got to be at 100% in these sort of fights, otherwise you are going to fucking lose. And I think that if I didn't have this confidence in Khabib from that side of stuff, I wouldn't have put 6 units down on him as well. It's not the biggest bet I've ever made. That was DC, Daniel Cormier. That was 6.5 units. 6 units is the second biggest bet I've ever made. So I definitely wouldn't have gone that heavy if I felt that there was some red flags with Khabib. But I really don't think there is that many red flags, if any at all. I couldn't name you one. If you told me what you're most concerned about Khabib, off the top of my head, I don't know. I really don't know.
I think the only red flag about him is that his striking. But I mean, I do think he's going to take Ferguson down. But I mean, if he doesn't, and then it's going to get hairy. But I mean, like you mentioned, I don't know how people out there picking Ferguson are going to say he's not going to take him down. I mean, Ferguson is known for his ground game as well. So I feel like you mentioned earlier, he's going to get taken down. He's going to want to be off his back. Because
yeah, I agree. I don't agree that Khabib's a red flag of Khabib's is his striking, because he's not a prolific striker, and he's definitely not as good as Tony Ferguson in my opinion, but he's the type of fighter, and there is a few of them out there. I'll tell you another good one. I always like analogies and to compare people. A little like Alan Patrick. He's got awful striking.
Oh my God.
What he does is his striking is perfect for him to close the distance and land the takedowns, which is where he's good at. So I'm not saying that Alan Patrick is as good as Khabib. That'd be fucking ridiculous, idiotic. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, yes, Khabib's striking isn't good, but it's tailored to do what he needs it to do. So he doesn't need to strike with people like that. That's not what he does. It's just tailored for him to be able to close that distance in a way that's comfortable and right for him to land his takedowns, which is where he wants to be.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know how people out there are saying he's not going to get taken down. He's going to get taken down. I just think he's going to do some damage off his back, and that's where we don't agree. I think he's going to, do some slicks up off on the mat, and we're not going to agree with that. I mean, you're picking Khabib, I'm picking Ferguson. We're not going to be sitting here agreeing with each other, obviously.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I can't believe we've been talking this for about an hour. But what's funny is that we could be talking about this for 3 or 4 hours because it's one of those fights that we could be talking about this fight all night long. But
We'll be talking about this fight for the next few years, man. Like like I'm not even gonna even pretend that people don't know, but this is a fucking huge fight. It's one of the biggest fights in the history of
these are the
UFC.
two best fighters, in the division.
And what makes it even more intriguing, something that we've not mentioned, and rightly so, because I wouldn't fucking want to talk about this too much on the podcast, but what makes this fight even better is the fact that the UFC are about to strip Conor McGregor. Their fucking wonder boy, their golden child, is about to get stripped of his belt because he doesn't fight, and these two fuckers want it. That's what, that's the added, that's the cherry on the top of the cake for me. Because if this was an interim title fight, yeah, it'd still be fucking great. Yeah, it would still be buzzing. Yeah, we'd still be doing this, but it would just be missing something, and that would be what it's missing. But we're not fucking missing out. We're getting the whole package.
What's funny is that I'm like the biggest McGregor fan, but if McGregor fought Khabib and Tony, I'd actually pick both the guys against McGregor. I would not pick McGregor against either of these guys. I wouldn't.
Well, it was about, I think it was about 4 or 5 months, no, maybe not that, about maybe 3 or 4 months ago. There was a strong rumor that it was going to be Tony and McGregor. McGregor was going to come back, and I think it was after Tony beat Lee for the interim, and there was a lot of rumors flying around. I was ready with my go button to drop big money on Tony in that fight because, yeah, they are, like you said, they're the two best, and McGregor would lose to both of them, and the rest of the UFC lightweight division would lose to both of them, and it's almost as they're almost so dominant that no matter who wins or loses this fight, they have to go again because who else is going to be there? There's nobody that's worthy. If Khabib loses, why should he fight someone that's fucking second, third, or fourth ranked? He'll smoke him. If Tony Ferguson loses, exactly the same thing. Why would you put him against a second, third, or fourth ranked fighter? He'll smoke him. Fucking run him again, man. Run him again.
Maybe Max will go up after T-City beats him.
You know what? Don't fucking talk to me about T-City. I've learned a lesson. I've learned a valuable lesson. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're handicapping and you're betting fighters, never be afraid to stick your hands up and say, "I've learned a fucking lesson."
We'll talk about it another time. But one thing too, I don't know if it's gonna matter here, but T-City and Tony Ferguson train together, so that's just one thing. If you guys out there want to see how good Ferguson on the mat is, they train together. So obviously T-City is better.
Hasn't got that special submission killer instinct that Ortega's got though. Ferguson wouldn't have adjusted a guillotine while his back's against the fence in the fucking middle of a takedown and
I agree. But since we're on this topic right now, I'll be talking about my official prediction. I think that Ferguson Darce chokes Khabib, and I know a lot of people out there are gonna be, what? I don't agree with that at all. But is it gonna happen early in the fight? No, I agree with that because Khabib's gonna be winning probably the first round, and I think it's gonna be a pretty close fight in the first 3 rounds. But I think that Tony Ferguson is gonna be breaking Khabib in the 5th round, where Khabib, in my opinion, is gonna be gassed out, and I think he's gonna shoot for a sloppy takedown, and that's where it's going to be Snapdown City, and I see Tony Ferguson getting the Darce. So I know you don't.
What I'm about to say, if that's a scenario that you envisage in regards to Khabib, because I'm guessing this, so tell me if I've guessed wrong. But I'm guessing you're thinking, like you've said, Khabib's tired and he shoots for a sloppy takedown, but he'll shoot for a sloppy takedown if he's tired because Ferguson will be picking him apart. So that's where I envisage what you're thinking. And I agree, if that's the scenario, if we get to that 5th round and Khabib's tired and Ferguson is picking him apart, I could totally see Khabib going for a sloppy takedown, especially if Ferguson hurts him and rocks him and it's a panic shot. Absolutely, I can see that. So
I'll be surprised if this happens early though. I mean, if it happens early, then wow, that's crazy. But I don't see it happening early because I mean I think it's going to be a feeling out process maybe for a couple of minutes, and I mean I do think Khabib's going to get him in the mat. And the one thing we disagree on is do you think that Khabib's going to be dominating him on the mat? But I think it's going to be a straight out bananas of a fight on the mat.
I'm
So
telling you right now, the first 3 takedowns in this fight are going to be crucial because Khabib's not one of them people that you see it time and time again in with fights with wrestlers. Like when we've got a wrestler versus a striker, this is the same conversation we're having. Ooh, can he take him down? And can the striker defend takedowns? We see it time and time again. And when that wrestler goes for the takedown, it gets stuffed. You you can visibly fucking see that wrestler is just like, oh shit, and his balls drop, and it's like he knows he's fucked at that point because he's as fresh as he can be. They're as dry as they can be. He tried the takedown, he didn't get it, and now he's thinking, oh shit, right? So that happens. But Habib isn't that type of fighter, and we saw that against Barboza. Habib failed with takedown one. He failed with takedown two. Did it did it affect him in the slightest? Did it fuck? He went for the third takedown. He got him down. So the first 3 takedowns for me are crucial. If Tony Ferguson stands up quickly after the first one, or and then sorry we go to the second one. If he does the same with the second one, then at this point I still think Habib will be okay. If it happens on the third one, at that point Habib might think he's okay, and I still think that in Habib's head he'll think, no, we're cool, I'll take him down again. But at that point I'll be fucking nervous because now I've seen Tony Ferguson stand up quickly 3 times in a row against Habib. At that point I'll be thinking I might end up losing this bet, but I don't, I don't see it happening. My official prediction for this, like I've already mentioned, I think that I will pick a round. I'll go a late third round save from the ref, which will obviously be a TKO. Now, see, I know you were surprised when I said TKO. Like you think that I think Habib will put him out or like legit finish him. I don't think he will legit finish him. I just think the ref will have seen enough and will be pulling Ferguson from long term damage, just from taking a beating. And I'm not saying it's all going to be one way. I'm definitely not saying it's going to be one way. Tony Ferguson won't allow it to be one way, but I still think it's going to be a relatively dominant performance from Habib. Like I said earlier, just a little less dominant, like a sort of a class below how dominant he was against Barboza and Johnson. It won't be as bad as that, but it'll be around that. So yeah,
yeah,
my official prediction
I'm
is the late third round TKO by Habib.
I'm glad that you're not biased because there's a lot of people out there that think it's going to be a one-sided fight. I mean, you do think it's going to be dominant, but you're not biased. Like there's a lot of people that think Ferguson has no chance at all. I mean, you're giving him a chance, obviously. So I mean, but
Well, no chance at
uh,
all. No, when somebody says a fight has got no chance at all, I instantly think, well, what they actually mean is a puncher's chance because no chance at all in mixed martial arts does not exist. It fucking doesn't. That's a fact. And if you think it does, then listen, you're watching the wrong sport. Go watch fucking swimming or badminton or something because MMA is not for you. The least that any fighter has got inside that cage is a puncher's chance. So I even don't think that's the truth for Tony. Tony has got there is definitely a chance that like you said, Habib could gas like in the championship rounds if it gets there, and Ferguson capitalise on it. There is definitely a chance that Ferguson could pull off like I said earlier. I think we've covered pretty much everything in my head anyway. A
you
Lyoto
did, yeah.
Machida type of fight where he's backpedaling for 5 rounds and just pointing him. There's that chance as well. I just think that those chances are very fucking unlikely, and there is more chance of Khabib just being, Khabib, dominating takedowns. And I think it's wrong to think that Ferguson's got no chance because, like, well, it is just my opinion. What you got to appreciate is obviously everyone sees fights differently. Some people might think that Ferguson's got a puncher's chance from how they've analysed the fight, and who are me and you to say that they're wrong because that's not the case. That there is no right or wrong when analysing a fight and pre-fight. There is no right and wrong. It's just I don't believe that that Ferguson has only got a puncher's chance. Because if I believe that, at minus 187, I would have gone heavier than 6 units on it. So.
Yeah, and I'm not sitting here saying Khabib has no chance. I mean, I'm sitting here saying it's going to be a close fight. I mean, I'm 0-2 fading Khabib. So obviously, I do respect the guy a lot. I do agree that the guy's the best fighter, one of the best fighters in the division. He is the best grappler in the division. So I'm not sitting here saying it's an easy fight for Tony because it's not. It's going to be a straight out war, in my opinion. So for me to sit here and say it's an easy fight for Ferguson, I mean, I'd be lying because it's not. But one thing too I want to mention before we go
Yeah,
is
man.
if Khabib finishes him, which in my opinion he will if he wins the fight, I don't think he's gonna get a TKO. I think he's gonna break his arm or something crazy like that. That's my opinion. But I do agree with what you said with the ref because Ferguson's not gonna quit. There's no way. There's maybe it's like a doctor stoppage or something, but Ferguson, it just won't quit. The guy has such a good chin. The guy's just so crazy. The guy's one of those weird fighters that I don't know if you saw a video of this, but he's like elbowing like some like steel pole or something like
I
that
did
to get his
fucking see
elbow.
that. He was well. The one I saw, he was throwing his shin into a metal pole. Now there were some people. I just want to quickly make a quick opinion of this. I think it's fucking stupid. How stupid is it? 3 weeks before, I don't give a fuck how conditioned your shin is, how much you wanna show you're an animal, whether it hurts you, whether it doesn't hurt you, whether it makes you draw blood, whether it doesn't make you draw blood. How fucking stupid is it? For the biggest fight of your entire career, the one every MMA fan wants to see, and you open up Twitter on a fucking on the morning you wake up and watch one fighter kicking a fucking metal pole. Stupid. Wrap 'em up in bubble wrap with a bit of cotton wool inside, and let's just fucking see him have it out on April the 7th. That's my take on it anyway. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
I don't agree, or actually, I do agree with you. I do agree with you, but my thing is that's just Tony Ferguson. He's a crazy person, man.
What
The
would you
dude
have done,
just
Justin? Right? Let me ask you right now. Sorry to cut you in. What would you have done if that video was circling on social media because Tony Ferguson broke his leg by kicking that steel pole?
yeah, I'd be pissed, man. So I mean, I don't want to bet on. I don't want to be have money on the guy and he's doing stuff like that. But the guy just is weird, man. I feel like he's like from a different planet, you know. That's why he's so different of a fighter. Like I mean, I know Khabib's been smoking everybody. He's been dominating everybody, but I just don't see him dominating this fight. He will have success. I will say that for sure. He's gonna get him down. He might have Tony in trouble. He might even mount Tony. I mean, Kevin Lee mounted Tony. But I think it's going to be a war, a straight out crazy fight, and I think it's going to be a fight you don't want to miss. I mean, it's going to be the best fight ever, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be that good of a fight. I really think it's going to be a war, and I think it's going to be a fight of the year candidate is going to win. And I want all those people out there that are picking Khabib and picking Tony that I want them to realize that, in my opinion, it's going to be a crazy fight. I don't think it's going to be a one-sided fight for either guy. But yeah, I respect, everything you said on Khabib. I respect. I'm not going to sit here and say, that's not true. Khabib is that good of a fighter. So if you were talking all about that, if it was like Nate Diaz or something like that, then I'd probably disagree everything that you'd say. But this isn't Nate Diaz fighting Ferguson. It's Khabib. So I agree.
Well, just to wrap it up then. So, yeah, I've got six units on Habib to win. I think he gets the official prediction from me is the late third round TKO. You've got how many units?
I got 4 units at plus 205 to win 8.2 units. One thing I want to mention real quick. Sorry to cut you off, but
That's all right.
that line is so disrespectful on Tony Ferguson. It's just so off, in my opinion. I don't know how the champ is. I think it's like plus 220 right now or plus 215. I just don't see it. Like I honestly think it should be a pick 'em. I don't think it should be that far off. But I mean, Khabib's been smoking everybody they've been putting in front of him. So who knows, man? I just don't. I think it's so disrespectful that
I think the line's slightly off, and like I said, I wouldn't have bet Habib at minus 250, which I think he is what he is now. I wouldn't have bet him at that price. Fuck, I didn't bet him at that price against Barboza, so why would I against Ferguson? But like I said, I got that minus 187 for anyone in England. That's 8 to 15, and now is 2 to 5 again for people in England. Just so you can just see the difference in the line that I got. It was too good to pass up for how confident I was. So yeah, I mean, just the last thing to say then before we wrap this up. I really, really hope that we just get a clean fight, a decisive winner. There's no controversy. And if that happens, in my opinion, whether I win my bet, whether I lose my bet, the right man will win this fight because they'll deserve to win this fight. You don't, you don't fluke a win against Khabib. You don't fluke a win against Tony Ferguson. You have to fucking beat those fighters to, you have to earn the right to beat those fighters and do what you need to do inside the cage, execute a game plan perfectly, come in completely in shape. If there's no controversy, the right person will win this fight. So I wish you the best luck, Justin. The best man will win. It's no question of may the best man win. The best man will win, because, like I say, you don't fluke a win against either of these guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for your time. Just before we go though, I'll just give you a chance to plug anything you need to plug, man. Shout out whoever you need to shout out.
Yeah, man, I wish you the best of luck too. It's going to be a very good fight. One thing I want to say is that if Tony loses this fight, I'm definitely never going to be faded Khabib again because I'm going to be 0. I'm going to be 0-3, and I can't. I mean, there's no way in hell I'm going to do it again. So we'll see what happens. I hope it's a very good fight, which I think it will be. I hope Khabib shows up, which I think he will. And just everybody, follow me on Twitter at UFC Bro Picks. I also have a channel, and I'll be talking probably next week. We'll be doing my show on the card, and make no mistake about it, man. It's a very good card. I mean, it's a very good co-main event. There's a lot of good fights on there. Chiesa versus Pettis. There's so many good fights in the card, but the main event's the best fight by far. And yeah, man, I hope we get a good fight, and whoever, regardless of the outcome, we'll be talking about it on my show probably the next day, and we'll talk about the main fight. We'll talk about the main event.
Awesome, bro. So from me, again, if you've missed anything from me, you don't want to replay it all, you just want to have a quick read, I've got the written breakdown for this fight on my website, which is newsomemma.co.uk. There's a lot of cool stuff going on there at the minute. We've got, as always, the centralized place for all the podcasts, all the prediction videos, which everyone will be firing them out within the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. Same with Justin, with UFC Bro Picks, and his good friend Ricky as well. They break those cards down, and like I say, I've got so many podcasts on there, so many prediction videos. Just get onto that site, just be looking at that over the next few weeks, because all these prediction videos will be coming out, so you don't have to just listen to my opinion or Justin's opinion. There'll be so many other good handicappers that are also telling you about their fights as well. There's too many to list, but there's also a couple of new podcasts coming up as well, that I'll be dropping on the site. So yeah, just take a good look around the site. There's honestly, I like to describe it as an all-in-one hub for MMA. There's just something on there for everybody. So yeah, take a look at that. And yeah, I'll be back breaking down UFC 223. I won't reveal the name yet, but I've got a UFC fighter breaking those down with me next week. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So thanks again, Justin, for your time. I appreciate it, man, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Bye.